Hit record and welcome you guys to our team call. It is February 1st and I'm excited tonight as I usually am at the team call, even though I just about drifted off in my daughter's bed saying goodnight to her, but I'm always way more awake when I get on with you guys. You know, we just had a really great retreat weekend, and although I think everyone would agree with me that we wish everyone could be there, we wanted to make sure we could bring back stuff and something exciting to share with you, and just sort of a little bit of the energy and anything that we learned. So that's why we decided to make the team call tonight about our main takeaways, and also give you guys an opportunity. I know you hear most often from me on the team call, but we have well, many of you guys are rising star leaders, but the diamonds, the people who qualified to go on this retreat, are diamond leaders from last year. And that's a big deal, as you know. It means that you're really growing an organization. And I remember hearing at Summit last year someone say that your business really begins when you achieve diamond. And I think I can believe it, because until then, we're obviously working really hard, but our focus is really on helping people achieve their goals in their health and fitness. But when you reach diamond, it means that you have at least an organization of 12 people. And that means you're not only just helping people achieve their goals in like health and fitness, but now you're helping people achieve their goals in life, and spreading that forward in financial areas of their lives. So it's a big milestone to achieve, and one that I hope you are all really shooting for this year. So anyway, we had a really wonderful weekend, and the whole purpose of the weekend is really celebration and to bring us together and share ideas, but also just to kind of grow as a team. And I think we did that. I think we achieved that. So I am going to kind of pass it over tonight and have the leaders who are on this evening. There were 11 of us there. There are 12 diamonds in SUCCESSFIT. Larissa couldn't make it, sadly. But I'm going to pass it around and have each of them say their takeaways. And if you have questions, why don't you pop them in the feed, and we can either take them as we go, or at the end you can ask whatever individual leader, if you want to ask them a question based on what you've maybe seen in social media about them, or what you know, if you have those questions. And we'll kind of just dive on in. So I'm just going to go in order of my screen, and I'm totally going to make Monica go first because I can see you. Is that okay? You're going to have to unmute.
Yes, that's fine.
Awesome. Thank you.
I feel all inspired because I was at the HR conference today. So, so it was really cool just to, connect with people, hear some speakers. And it's cool because, there's so many similar threads. One of the sessions I was in was talking about your job and loving what you do, and just, being passionate and choosing your path. And I just thought, wow, that really relates to, what we do. And as I was talking to people, one of the things that came up at the leadership retreat was, step one was, one of the things we talked about is just being passionately you, and just really, when you're sharing your story, just, being yourself and not holding back in terms of what you're excited about and why you're excited about being a coach and that kind of thing. And for me, really, it was really emphasized this weekend. It's really about the people. So sometimes we think, oh, what should I post or what should I say? And I just say to people, even today, as I was talking, it's just like, I love the people. I love being part of the team. And I think we just have to be really, bold and unafraid in our posts, and just put it out there what we love, and get people curious and that kind of thing. So that one piece really stuck with me, just the be passionately you, be shining, be positive, still put the real stuff out there, but just share why you love it. And I think that, sharing the why, when we think about our posts, if we just post, oh, I'm having this for lunch today, or oh, I'm doing this, really that coming back to the why am I making these healthy choices, or why am I wanting to be a good example for my kids? So that being passionately you really was one of the things that we talked about. And then just something tangible as well in terms of inspiring other people. There's, the inspiring our prospects, which is one thing that we're, constantly we're posting, we're following up with people. That's great. But also our coaches. So people that have signed up, whether they're discount or whether they want to work the business, that we really again, ask them how they're doing, what can we do to help them, and again, share what we struggle with or how we found something that works really well. So Teamsy was one of the things that came up this week, and I had no idea what it was. And I didn't even jump in. People were jumping in, and I was just like, I don't have a computer. I'm not doing. But then last night I pulled it up. I was like, okay, I'm going to look at this Teamsy, and maybe I can, learn something new and help other people with it. But just that sharing of ideas and coming up with something that works for you in terms of just following up with people and shining that light to your coaches, so prospects, new customers and coaches as well, and just really getting people excited about what it is that you do and getting them to want to join you on the journey. So those were my big takeaways. I don't want to say too much more in case I don't want to overlap with other people, but those are my big ones.
That was awesome. I even just wrote, I feel like just rehearing you speak again, I already learned something new. So that's kind of an extra takeaway, a twofer. Thanks, Monica. Melinda, I'm going to ask you to go next.
I feel I took away the same thing as Monica, just about being passionately you and being vulnerable and just putting yourself out there, and don't be afraid of doing that. And I found a quote just the other day. It says, turning your passion into your job is easier than finding a job that matches your passion. And if you had to ask me, a few years ago, if I'd be a fitness coach, I would have laughed in your face but now it's just something I love to do. And, people tell me every day that I'm inspiring them and motivating them to be healthier. And, so I think just putting yourself out there and being passionate about what you do is just going to come across like that. So
awesome. I love that quote. I've never heard it before, but it's so true. It is way easier to go that way than the other. Thank you, Melinda. And it was so nice to have you there. Krista Knox, who flew all the way from Vancouver to attend our retreat, which was really awesome.
I think, that for me was definitely my favorite part, being all the way over here on the West Coast. I've been wanting to meet all of you so badly for so long, and it was just so great to just hug everybody and, just kind of be part of this big community that we are. And myself, I had a big kind of aha moment while I was there. And if you follow me on social media, you'll notice that this last year has been a big growth year for me, dealing with my depression and my anxiety stemming from having children. And it's been I've used coaching as a tool to kind of open up my heart and accept that this is a life that might not look exactly how I wanted it to, but that it's my life and it's amazing. And coaching has totally taught me to just, open myself up and be vulnerable to everything. But after talking with everybody this weekend, we had so many good talks. And one of the things that I decided, and it was kind of like this, I left that person at the airport. So the person that was, sorry, my husband's rummaging around over there. It's probably loud. The person that struggled for that whole year and was really trying to find herself that whole year, she found her on this trip. And I just feel like this journey, it can, it grows with you. So what started off as I needed something to hold on to get myself through a really difficult time has turned me into a different person. And now I need to focus on what that new person is and share with others how you can do that as well. So I just want to encourage you, if you are in a difficult place, know that you can get to the other side of it. And the other side is pretty awesome, and that this journey can take you there and you can grow past it. I think Arnaud said to set your goals high enough so that you have to grow to reach them. And that just really stuck home with me, that, anybody can stay stagnant, but if you're really reaching for something amazing, you have to look high and grow to get there. That's it.
I love that. And you're right. That was an amazing piece of Arnaud to say that. But I love that you just said you left that person at the airport. That was really great. Thank you. Trish, you're on.
Is my audio working? It is. Okay. It's just because I had a notice come up that said it wasn't working, so I was nervous. Okay, my takeaways. One of the big things for me, I think, was that I feel like we all have this really amazing connection because of how we've all come together. And I truly believe in our core and in our heart, we're all trying obviously to do the same thing. But it's funny when you come to a retreat like this, we're all so very different, like also very different personalities, everything, all different backgrounds. But you feel it and you don't feel it. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's such a great thing because you can learn so many things from everyone being so different, because everyone can bring something new to the table when you're having discussions and everything, and a different perspective. But at the same time, you feel this amazing, crazy bond, right? Like I didn't feel like any of these people were strangers because we had been, we're on SUCCESSFIT and we're on calls. And, I was meeting Krista, of course, and Rachel for the first time. Oh, no, not Rachel. Sorry. I think I met her. Yeah, I met her, sorry, in Nashville. But like, you don't feel like these people are strangers. Like, you have this amazing bond. I just have to say that because it's just, that was something that's a surprise and not a surprise. What you guys are saying about vulnerability, I struggle with that definitely, and I voiced that. I know one night I find it hard being too vulnerable because I don't want to upset my family if I expose too much, because my family tends to be a bit sensitive about that kind of thing, and they want us to come across perfect. So that's hard, but I think, it came out, I even did a very vulnerable post that Saturday evening, just kind of laying out one of my my weaknesses and everything. So I think that all our talks and everything helped in that way. Another thing that I definitely took away that I really thought was a great idea, and I don't think Chrissy is on the line, but she had this really good idea, and I don't think it matters what level you're at in your coaching. But she said that she has this really great page that she manages, and it's not her fitness page, and it's not, it's not her personal page, but she keeps this this page called Chrissy Craig Coaching Live or something, or Chrissy Craig
Coach
Live.
Chrissy Live, I think.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, Coach Chrissy Live. So, and she puts all her challengers that she's had in the past, current, everybody in there, so that if something new, like the All Access Pass was, I know it, sorry, my little guy's jumping on the bed, and it's just like, something that's really important, like say a new program comes out, like when Core de Force came out, or when All Access Pass, because I know that's a hot topic right now on SUCCESSFIT, anything like that you feel like you want to share to anybody that's been passed or right now in your groups. I think it's just such a great way to communicate without having to send like separate messages through Facebook or email. It's just like, bam, you get that message out there and you have all these people in one place. And if they have questions, otherwise it could take you weeks or even months to get through, your client base. So at any rate, I thought that was a really cool idea that she proposed. So it was a great weekend. I loved it. I needed it. And that's my take.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that one. Trish, you're right about the Coach Chrissy Live. I think I had that on my list too. But Carla, I'm going to move on to you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, that was on my list as well. So I'm going to skip over that. You know what the biggest thing, this is going to sound silly, but I feel like I need to make it silly for a moment. The biggest thing I learned, thanks to Rachel, was if you get your car stuck in the snow, you can take your car mats out of your car, tuck them under the tire, get some SUCCESSFIT boss babes to push it out and you will succeed. So that was just like, for me, that was just a really cool moment, because it was just like all of us coming together. Like, we are such determined women, and we made it happen. Like, we were going to make it happen. Like, we were not calling CAA. We were going to get Erica's car out of that snowbank. And so that was pretty cool to me. I loved all of the different personality tests and brand tests and the color code tests. Like, I love talking about that stuff. I always have, like, even in high school, whenever we did those left brain, right brain things, like, I always really enjoyed that. So it was really cool to see, like, what other people are, and just like, and then you're like, oh, right. And then you go to their page and you kind of see it come out, and just learning to really embrace who you are and embrace your personality and run with it. Like, stop trying to be somebody that you're not, or trying to, like, please everybody, but really just embrace who you are at your soul and run with that, because then that's the kind of people you're going to attract and that you're going to get along with. So there's those two things. The other thing that I learned was about a couple of people. Just a reminder, like, when you're talking to people, when you're sending these connection messages, the whole comment, compliment, question. Like, I found that it was such a good reminder to do that. Like, just before you go and send them a Facebook message, go onto their page, like one of their things, comment on something, compliment them in some way, to help engage that conversation. So it was just some really good reminders. I really liked Erica's idea too, to hold the prep week just for beginners, so just for people that are buying the challenge packs new. You have the prep week just for them, so that they are all on the same page, and then you add in your repeat challengers, closer to the start date, so that the newbies don't feel so overwhelmed and they feel like they can open up a bit more. I like that idea as well. And to ask your challengers tough questions. So when you're doing a follow-up with them, not just to say, hey, how's it going? Or, hey, I saw you posted 5 workouts. Like, really try to dig in a little bit more into who they are and what challenges they are facing, and ask them those tough questions. And then to add to that, like, I was listening to Jamie Fitzpatrick's call this week, and he was that whole thing about never giving up on anybody. Like, I really loved that he said that. So, like, not giving up on those challengers, like, no matter what, like, no matter if they're day 10 and they've logged 1 workout, you're still reaching out to them. You're asking them tough questions. You're trying to figure out, like, why they aren't doing it, why they aren't sticking to it, but you're not just giving up on them. You're not just dismissing them like the big gyms do. Like the big gyms, they just want us to buy a membership and not walk through the door. Like, we want these people to buy our programs, but we also want to help them on their journey, and we want to help them get results. So in order to do that, we need to invest ourselves, invest in them, and, like, pour our heart into it and not give up on them no matter what. That's it.
That was an awesome takeaway, Carla. Thanks for sharing that. It's funny. It's like when we were in the moment and hearing all you guys say these things, and it's like, and just reliving them and remembering, like, oh yeah, that was a great one, and how did I forget it already? So it's really nice to hear it. But yes, the mats under the car were a total, like, add-on to takeaways. So thanks for that, Rachel. Thanks, Carla. That was awesome. Erica, will you go? You gotta unmute. Sorry. There you go.
Okay, there. Am I unmuted? Okay. I went last year, and I looked forward all year to this retreat again, because I just love the girl bonding time. Like, it's amazing that, kind of like what Trish was saying, is that, you see these people on social media, whatever, and you get there, and I feel like I know everyone. You feel like everyone's like your best friend. It's just, I can't even describe it. And it's nice because you can talk to your friends or your husband about, what should I do different in my business? But they don't really get it. But to be able to talk to people who have been there, who are going through the same feelings and the vulnerability that you have to put out there every day, it was really amazing. And to go on what Krista was saying, we did a lot of personality quizzes. We did a lot of, like, delving into ourselves, like self-awareness tests, and we talked about it. And that was really eye-opening for me. Like, helping other people through those quizzes and getting to the root of, where I struggle. And, it's not even about Success Club or other things like that. It's about where do you personally struggle, and what is still scary for you. and getting to the root of that and knowing and kind of figuring like, you know what, here's where I need more personal development to develop myself. So for me, it was like a lot of self-awareness, and like honestly, the other leaders were just so amazing. I was just feeling very inspired, and it was lots of awesome memories. And I just really feel that this, you know, if you guys aren't Diamond yet, this is definitely something that you want to get to next year, because I feel like the high from that and you know, the feeling of being with all these awesome positive women, it just gives me the oomph I need for like the next like 6 months to keep doing what I'm doing. So that was kind of it. Everyone else already said what I was going to say too. So Team Z and everything else, awesome.
Thank you, Erica. That was great. Jody. Yay, you're up.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Thanks for so shout out to the first priorities. And so how you approach this business, it's okay for you to decide what that looks like for you. And, you know, we listen to the national wake-up calls, and there's all these great tips. For me, because I'm easily distracted, my best takeaway was focus in on what's important and what you're good at, and do that and keep it simple. Because otherwise you can get very, you know, distracted and unproductive thinking about what everybody else is doing. That your uniqueness, it really does matter. One of my favorite parts was a little last minute impromptu before we went to bed. We did a little branding exercise to see how identifiable our brand was to the group. And we each wrote down 5 words that we associate with our brand and no name. And then everyone was sort of guessing as we read through those lists. That was really insightful. We all had so many similarities on there, which made me realize I need to go deeper. Of course I'm into fitness and family. Of course I'm going to share those things. What else? You know, apparently chickens and seeds are identifiable to my brand, which, you know, I'm glad that's coming across. When you talk to other people who are doing this and watching you and cheering you on, they have a lot of feedback. If you are struggling, you know, ask somebody here, have a success partner. I got to stay up a little bit late on Saturday night with my success partner, Rachel. We didn't actually talk about Beachbody. We talked about and got to know each other better. But having connections inside of this within your team, but also outside of your own team, gives you great perspective on what you're putting out into the world, especially since we can all sort of count on each other and trust each other because we know what we're all trying to do. Again, the girlfriend aspect is just awesome. Like, it was so nice to spend a weekend with people. I often feel like I don't fit, you know, I don't fit here and there and everywhere else, but I fit with you guys. And that's a really nice feeling too. It reaffirms that this thing that we're doing is freaking awesome. You know, if I would have gone to this retreat and thought, what a bunch of duds, I don't fit with these people, you might be questioning what my choices were, but no, I'm absolutely certain that this is right for me. And Bria, you know, I went last year. It was a smaller group last year. And the year before that, I don't even know if she did a retreat the year before that. So, and on my team,
before that, there were no other diamonds.
So, proof that what Bria's been telling us about continuing on, and even when it seems like nobody's listening or you're not sure what your message is, just keep going. Keep going. Keep it simple. Keep it joyful. Remember what you love about doing this, and that should always be at the forefront of every single day, so that you never have those yucky moments where you're like, I don't know what to do, or I'm not sure what to say. I found myself asking for advice on conversations with people a lot. So I learned also, hey, when people are around me that I admire and doing well, I'm asking them, what should I say? So that's an area for me to develop. The personality quizzes were fun. You sort of find your twins in the group. I think Krista and I had the same results for every test we did, and maybe Christy too. It was a lot of fun. And those things that we had fun doing this weekend, I'm going to bring those to my challenge group because I'm a bit of a robot in my challenge groups. And I learned from these awesome experiences that when you have fun with people, and it's not always about what you ate that day or whether you did your workout, but you get to know the people in your challenge groups and on your team, everybody just has such a good time. And who wouldn't want to participate in that? So thank you for having us, Bria. Thank you for being there, Trish and Erica, for being diamonds this year and joining us. And I loved every second of it with all of you. I will second what everybody said. We only know each other online, and then we come together in person, and it just feels like we've known each other forever. It was really awesome.
Thank you, Jody. That was so good. Rachel.
I'm unmuted? Yay.
Yes.
I had an awesome time at the retreat, and this was my first retreat, and it really never occurred to me that I would get to go to one of these things. I know last year Bria messaged me, and I was just a brand new coach. I had only been coaching about 2 months, and she said, like, you should be here with us. And I was like, oh yeah, right. Like, I'm never going to get there. And this year, like, it just happened. And I think one of my biggest takeaways from the weekend was that so many of us were really so, like, you know, everybody comes from different backgrounds, everybody's different, but so many of us really genuinely interested in doing this to help people and not to, you know, make money, and that the money is the icing on the cake. Because when I started coaching, I started to keep myself accountable, and I thought it was something that would be good for me. And I was just sharing from a place of, this is what I'm doing. And it really happened pretty organically, where I was kind of following the basic steps, but it didn't seem like it was a lot or overwhelming to me to be, you know, kind of spreading myself all over the place. I was just doing kind of the very simple things that we were, you know, Bria had told us that we needed to do to be successful. And, you know, when I started getting paid from it, I was like, whoa, this is really cool. And I remember thinking, like, I'm getting paid to work out and eat clean. Like, I made an extra $200 this month. This is awesome. And so I feel like everybody that came together really started from a place of doing it for their own reasons, doing it for themselves, and that the rest of it all kind of fell naturally together. And there will be a point in your business where you will get frustrated and you will lose patience and you will put pressure on yourself and get anxious about your business. And that keeping the sort of the root of, like what Jody said, the joy in this and what makes you happy and what brought you to this, to the forefront, and keeping that really important piece in your everyday life will help you get through that, will help you maintain that patience. And you wake up one day and you're invited to a diamond retreat. And it's always like happy surprises this business has been for me. Because, you know, although I initially looked at it as, this is great, I want to make a career out of this, I knew that it was going to take me some time to get there. So I didn't really focus on that. Another big takeaway that I had from this was that I've lost some focus on my challengers. And when we sat down with Bria and we talked about sort of the 4 major steps that you have to be hitting in your business, and you know, what things you were good at and what things you weren't good at, one of the things I found was a weakness of mine was keeping my current challengers engaged. And because most of the time I thought they're in my challenge group, so I'm talking to them every day. So what else do I need to do? I'm already talking to them in my challenge group. They already have a program. I'm their coach. And I never really thought of consistently following up with my challengers outside of the group. And I think one of the things that was mentioned was Chrissy's Chrissy's group with all of her customers and clients in there, and a way to keep them connected and engaged. And another one was, you know, we spent some time talking about Teamsy, and I found a really great piece of Teamsy reminds me to connect with my customers on a regular basis So even if they haven't gotten Shakeology in months, I've not forgotten about them. I've not gone, okay, you're not buying anything from me, so I'm not your coach anymore. I'm your free coach forever, for as long as I'm doing this for. So I get a constant reminder to message people, whether they're in my group or very active, to message them outside and go, hey, you're doing great this week or this month, and ask them for a recommendation, to tell them that they are inspiring, because keeping those people engaged is either going to have them continue to be their best self and get their best results, or have them even take it a step further to become a coach themselves. I think one of the things that Bria asked us as a group was, how are you helping your clients get their best results? And oftentimes for me, I think, well, I post every morning in my challenge group, so that's how I'm helping them get their best results. And that's not true, because a lot of people need, they need to feel like they're important to you. They need to feel like you actually care about them. And so many of us get so caught up in all the other things that this business entails, making their social media posts and doing their own workouts and connecting with prospects, that we lose sight of the people that we already have connected with. And I think that it's really, really important to take the time to message somebody and go, how are you doing? And not just if they've fallen off, and not just if you haven't heard from them in a while, but to make people feel special. Because this weekend, I felt super special, like spoiled special. And this is the kind of opportunity that I want other people to be able to have. I want everybody in SUCCESSFIT to be able to have this opportunity, because it's crazy awesome. We sat down with Bria and we were kind of talking about, what are we going to do for the next retreat? What are we going to do when we have 20 people here? What are we going to do when we have 100 people here? So looking forward to the goals of, my personal goals and the goals of this team, it's just naturally been everybody should have this opportunity. So how can we help people get to that place in their lives? So thank you so much, Bria. I walked away and was just so fired up that I was literally in the airport getting ready to fly home on my laptop, doing things. And I feel like the takeaways from, all these events are that they kind of boost you up to go, okay, this is why I'm doing it. And not because I got to go in a hot tub and drink champagne, but because I got to hang out with these people who I don't know, and they're still my best friends. And I know that I could message any of these people and they get it. And, it's just really, really fills my heart.
That's awesome, Rachel. Thank you. That was really well said. And thank you for coming all that way. I mean, I know for everyone, it's a big ask, right? To ask your family, to come to this, and you came all the way from the East Coast. So thank you very much for that. And I'll second everything that you said. I know that Christine couldn't be here tonight because she's has hockey with her son. I thought Chrissy was hoping to be on, but I don't see her. So I'm sure something has cropped up. So I think that just leaves me. And, for the most part, I think that I had very similar takeaways in terms of tangible and intangible things as you guys, but I'm going to say them anyway in case I say them differently or just because they're on my heart. So I want to say them. Definitely, I am excited. I'm excited about hearing from other people the tools that they're using. I know I asked in SUCCESSFIT this week what you guys want to hear on the team calls, and I do take those to heart. So we will do a call soon based on investment tools, things that you can choose to invest in if you want to enhance your business, enhance your business if that works for you. And Teamzy is one of those things. So you've heard a lot of us talk about it tonight. It's a really nice online measuring tool. I have been using it now for the last few days because of hearing about it at the retreat, and I really like it a lot. But we will talk about these things, or you can have a one-on-one conversation. But that was a big takeaway. So I encourage you to take a look at it. If you're looking at investing into your business and you really you're looking for something to help you track and make sure that you're on top of all your customers. It's a very powerful tool. I loved Chrissy's idea of the Coach Chrissy Live, just making sure we have a place for everyone that we can hop into and even go live in. So what she does is she creates that private Facebook group for her, any of like kind of like challenge graduates. People come through a challenge and then they go into this group, regardless of whether they're going to continue on in another challenge or not. And she's able to go live in there occasionally, a couple times a week, and just kind of share tips, right? Thinking, for me, I looked at it like it's almost like the locker room of your gym, like a place where you can go in and give a little bit more. I loved the brand, that same thing that Jody talked about. It was an exercise that Monica brought about brand. And I had a really similar takeaway to you, Jody, where it was like, it was really cool to hear so many of us have a lot of overlapping, but that's not really a surprise. We've all kind of come together because we have that basic similarity of many of us are parents, many of us love wine and chocolate. Like those are really commonalities. Obviously, most of us really love to work out now. So those things are really similar, and it encouraged me to dig deeper. So what I would put out there as an actual hard takeaway for you guys is, like right now, we're all on Team Cup teams. Maybe with your Team Cup team, it's a great exercise to do, or in the private group or the private message feed that you have going on. Write down the 5 or 6 things that you feel like make up your brand, and ask your team to look at your page and see, is that what they're seeing? Could I dig a little bit deeper? And that was a unique thing for me, because I know what I need to be talking a little bit more about that is more unique to me are like the body image issues that I struggled with. That is how, like, in my heart, and how I really, one of the things that brought me here. There's other things that make me a little bit more unique than being a mom who loves wine and chocolate, which I think is a wonderful way to cast our net out, and is certainly a part of who I am. But it was a really eye-opening thing, just like Jody said, where it was like, what else can I dig deeper and share a little bit more to try to reach into the hearts of something a little bit deeper and less surfacey. So I would encourage that as a takeaway to do, either with your success partner or with your Team Cup team, or reach out, to your upline, to me. I'd be happy to do it with you and take a look at your page and make sure that, is that really what's coming across? And that is what makes up your brand. So I'm sure after this call as well, we can pop a few of these tests that we did. There was a great free brand test. I love the color code personality test, which has really over the last 2 years helped me become a stronger leader, I think, both in growing in myself and helping to understand other people. So there are a couple of free tests that we'll make sure to throw in SUCCESSFIT for you guys if you like that kind of thing and you want to take it as well. I think, what Rachel just said there about, being here, like the reason that we're here for is, most of us really come into this because it's had an impact on our lives. We see the business opportunity and the value in that, but the fact of the matter is we wouldn't be here if we didn't believe in what a challenge can do for us. And just keeping that at the forefront of your heart and making sure that that's what you're paying for when you're talking to your challengers and when you're talking to your new coaches as they come on the team. Because I say it over and over, this is a marathon and not a sprint. So we have to remember to stay in love for as long as we can with this journey, because there's going to be times where you're struggling in your business, or where it feels hard, or you have life gets in the way and it gets busy, and you don't ever want to hit a point where you're thinking, I'm going to go do this instead. That's going to be better. That's going to work better for me. That's going to be more successful. When really we know in our heart that this works and it's a valuable thing and it changed our lives, and we need to stick with the thing that worked for us in order to truly have success and make a difference in the lives of others. So doing this because you know it works and because you know it makes a difference in other people's lives and changes lives, and not just doing it because it makes money, I think is a really critical piece that I see in all the coaches that gain traction and become successful. I think that something that I was reminded of this weekend is how important it is to stick to those basics and not let this overtake your life, because it's a vehicle to help us achieve all the things that we want in our life. And if we let it consume us and get stressed out by it, it doesn't look easy anymore. And although it's not easy, it's very simple. It's be healthy, live healthy, make healthy choices, share that, and help others. It can be very simple. And if we get caught up in all these hundreds of things we're trying to do and let it overtake our life instead of just keeping that simple focus of helping others and paying that forward, it becomes something that looks very hard for other people, and then they don't want to join us. So that was a big one. And then, of course, I loved, so we had Arnaud, who's one of the senior, I don't know his official title, that's terrible, but he's one of corporates. He runs Canada for corporate in terms of like sales and operations. And so he hopped on and kind of kicked off our retreat. And I loved that quote that he talked about, the importance of growing into our goals. And I think that's how we push ourselves to the new level, is that whether it's in your business or in your life or in your fitness, that you're setting a goal that you are always having to lift yourself up to. You have to grow outside of yourself in order to be successful in any area and in order to change. So make sure you're setting something for that you can see and that you're constantly moving towards, and that pushes you outside of that comfort zone. And then the last thing I guess I wanted to say was, we all do come here have these different whys. You hear a lot about coaches on the National Wake Up Call. We talk about having a why and your reasons for being here. And I don't actually think we all have just one. I mean, I know I have a couple personally. One of the biggest reasons that brought me here in the first place was that I struggled a lot with my body image issues, and I noticed those demons starting to creep back after I had children. And that was what drove me into a challenge. And also what drove me into thinking I wanted to pay this forward. Because when I finally felt those like shackles of unhappiness kind of come off, it was very powerful for me to think, I know there's other people that share these struggles. But what a different piece of me that hadn't been really resolved was I had always been a girl's girl. Like I'd always really loved being surrounded by friends, and I love people and being connected with them. What I didn't realize when you have children, I had children a lot before most of my friendship circle at that time, is that the things that bring you together with your friends in high school and university don't necessarily keep you together as you head off into the next stage of your life. And just because you work with people doesn't mean that you're going to be similar. And when you have children, you start to diverge, and you can feel very lonely. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I just knew that the people that had originally been in my life, I lost a lot of them because we no longer had much in common anymore. And it became very clear to me who my friends were that loved me no matter what, and who those friends were that only loved me when I was being this one specific person to them in their life. And I'm sure some of you guys can relate to that. So what I find so amazing, and probably my biggest takeaway from all of this, is that I really do feel like what we're creating here is so much deeper than even self-joy and self-happiness, but it is truly a community of people who are like-minded, who maybe aren't the same people, but who want to be positive and lift each other up and be a friend and have enough in common to make a difference in this world. And that for me was extremely powerful, because to feel like I am surrounded by people who are happy in themselves and therefore can just love and be happy for me is really something that there's not enough of, I think, in our society and probably in the world. And I really felt that with you guys this weekend. And I feel that when I look across, my screen here at all of you guys tonight, is I really think what we're making here is something even bigger than we can understand right now. And if we can keep moving forward with that passion and that hope, and at least that belief, even when sometimes we don't have that passion and hope, I really think that we're all going to be so amazed at the ripple effect that can come out of this as we keep going. So thank you guys all for being on tonight and for being a part of this journey, because I know that it's not always easy. And I know that it asks a lot of us and of the others in our lives, but I really think it's worth it. And I'm so grateful for every single one of you. And I hope that next year's Diamond Retreat is filled with all of your faces, because we had a really good time. We did. Thank you, everyone. Does anybody have any questions for any of the leaders that were on tonight? I think we tried to go through. Feel free to unmute if you have anything you want to say or share. Okay. Thank you guys so much. I really, truly love you all. And let's make this month of love a real love one. Let's stick it out into the universe and try to reach out as many people as we can and really make a difference in their lives. Have a great evening, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you so much.